Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, streaming live from the sanctuary of our own homes. As you are, it's our first Sunday with our new platform, so we're happy to have you with us. And we're going to start off our Sunday meditation this morning. I invite you to settle in, finding a spot that's comfortable for you. We'll close our outer eyes and turn within, knowing that our sacred self is as close as our own breath within our own heartbeat. So let's take 3 really deep breaths. Big breaths in, allowing your rib cage to expand, opening up the chest, exhaling fully, and then again. So this morning, I'm going to read to you from the book, Gifts from A Course in Miracles. It's a title, You Are One Self. That's capital S self, as in divine self, highest self. And then it'll be followed by 10 minutes of silent meditation with music. And then I'll bring us out. So our reading, you are one self, complete and healed and whole, with power to lift the veil of darkness from the world. You are only love, but when you deny this, you make what you are something you must learn to remember. You need to learn to lay all fear aside and know yourself as love, which has no opposite in you. Fear not to look upon the lovely truth in you. Yourself is still in peace, even though your mind may be in conflict. Nothing outside of yourself can save you. Nothing outside of yourself can give you peace. You will yet learn that peace is part of you and requires only that you be there to embrace any situation in which you are. And finally, you will learn that there is no limit to where you are, so that your peace is everywhere as you are. What we accept as what we are proclaims what everyone must be along with us. Fail not your brothers and sisters, or you fail yourself. Look lovingly on them, and they may know that they are part of you and you of them. Myself is holy beyond all the thoughts of holiness of which I now conceive. Its shimmering and perfect purity is far more brilliant than is any light that I have ever looked upon. Its love is limitless, with an intensity that holds all things within it in the calm of quiet certainty. So I invite you to stay turned within, going deeper into self, remembering who you are, experiencing the allness that you already are, the love that you are, your oneness with everything and everyone. Recognizing that there is one source, one power, one infinite intelligence that governs the universe, which goes by many names that I call God. As I know that I am one with divine love, that it has its being in me, as me, and through me. I know too that this is the truth for you. This is the truth for each and every being on the planet. I am so thankful for this knowing of who I am, so grateful for the exquisite truth of my existence. I walk forward into all my moments, remembering, accessing this truth. I let it be so, and so it is. And now I invite you to gently bring yourself back into your earthly body. It feels good. So I hope that you will stay with us for this morning's service at 10:45. It'll be a whole new platform. We've got some amazing music and thought and talks for you. So please stay with us. And we're so happy that you joined us this morning. And we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much.
and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, loved and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. So whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone, and someone cares for you as an individualization of the divine point of view. This door, I said this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door, I said this door is open. It's open to you.
Thank you very much, Cindy Johnson. And how about all those amazing images of our community? We've created 4 different of these videos with 4 different pieces of music and multiple images of our community. So I guess you're just going to have to keep tuning in because we're going to rotate them throughout the month. So in order to be able to see them all, you have to just keep coming. And remember, the door is open to you. If you perhaps are not, have never met me before, my name is Dusty Ripplemeyer. I have the honor and the privilege of being this community, this amazing community's spiritual director. I am their senior minister. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. We embrace new thought and ancient wisdom teachings, and through them, we believe in a practical spirituality that we can use to create a life that we really want to live. We are a powerful spiritual community, lovingly committed to a world of acceptance, a world of compassion, a world of peace, and a world of joy. We gather to express and celebrate the divine and life itself, to express love, to grow spiritually, and to connect with one another. What we are really about is providing a supportive community where we can explore our own spiritual path and connect to the divinity and the wisdom within us. We are grateful that you have chosen to include us in this morning. My gratitude and appreciation goes out to Michelle Love, who facilitated a beautiful meditation to set the stage for our service to unfold within. Thank you so very much, Michelle. We are excited to say that Reverend Tom Pittman is in the house today. Well, I guess technically he's in his own home, but he will be joining us as a guest speaker. Reverend Tom's affiliation with our center goes back many years. He has been an active member of our community since 2009. Over the years, he has taken classes and served in many different capacities. He served as a practitioner. He served on many different ministries. He served as the Leadership Council president And most recently, he served as a staff minister from his home away from home in Florida. Thank you for being here with us this morning, Reverend Tom. I look forward to experiencing your message later on in the service. This month, February, our country celebrates Black History Month. It is an annual celebration of the countless achievements of African Americans and a time for recognizing their central role in the history of the United States. Here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, we celebrate the diversity and the unity in the one. We recognize and honor everyone's uniqueness and contribution to the whole, and we celebrate each individualized expression of God. Over the course of this month, we are celebrating Black History Month and all of our Black brothers and sisters. We honor who they are and all of their contributions to our lives. Each Sunday, we have been showing a new video. While there are countless examples of achievements by African Americans throughout history, today's video talks about one amazing individual that we all should know about. Thank you, Garrett Morgan, for all that you are and all that you have done for our lives. Please watch this video.
Before we go, I want to remind you that it's Black History Month, and every day I've been sharing stories about African Americans whose names we should know, which brings me to Garrett Morgan. Born in 1877 in Kentucky, the son of freed slaves, Morgan achieved a level of success unheard of for an African American man in that era. Although he only had a 6th grade education, Garrett became fascinated with how things worked. His curiosity eventually led him to Cleveland, Ohio, where he spent most of his adult life as an inventor, a businessman, and a political leader. Now, although he filed many patents in his lifetime, he is best known for 3 inventions. First, for a chemical hair processing and straightening solution, which launched a personal grooming company. Second, the smoke hood, more commonly known as the gas mask, which he used to heroically rescue workers trapped in a collapsed tunnel under Lake Erie. Garrett eventually sold it to the U.S. military to be used in World War I. And third, after becoming the first African American in Cleveland to own an automobile, he developed the 3-signal traffic light. So we have him to thank for the yellow light we all speed through. He eventually sold that patent to GE for $40,000, which today would be $500,000. So by the 1920s, Garrett started the Cleveland Caller, which became one of the most important African-American newspapers in the nation. A tireless advocate for equality, Garrett also founded the Cleveland Association of Colored Men, which would eventually become part of the NAACP. Now, if that wasn't enough, he even opened an all-Black country club. Mr. Garrett Morgan, we thank you for the impact you've made on not just the African-American community, but on the lives of everyone around the world. Yep. Hey, that's our show for today. You want to see some behind the scenes and moments from today's show, just follow the conversation on Facebook at Steve TV.
Garrett Morgan, I also thank you. Thank you so very much for all of your contributions. Now I invite you to please join me in welcoming licensed spiritual practitioner, Dr. Mike Morczynski. Welcome, Dr. Mike.
Thank you, Reverend Dusty, and good morning to everyone. It's wonderful to be here this morning. Our theme for the month of February is One Journey, Many Paths, and our talk title for today is Love is All There Is. Holding vigil for us today, which means staying in a meditative space throughout the service, holding the space for us to have a transformative experience, is one of our licensed spiritual practitioners, and that would be Michelle Love this morning. And thank you very much, Michelle. and we really appreciate your consciousness. I'm now going to read this community's purpose statement, and this is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. And so it is. Now, the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all the spiritual paths, as represented by this ceremony. And before the ceremony begins, please welcome with me Susan and Ed Krupa, who will be assisting with this ceremony. Good morning, Susan and Ed.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science in mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. Thank you, Susan.
And so
Thank you, Ed.
I love you.
I now invite you to join Cindy Johnson as she sings our opening congregational song.
If love is why I'm here, let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. If love is why we're here, let us be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and then receive. Give and receive. Give and receive. If love is why you're here, may you be an open channel. If love is why you're here, let you give and then receive. If love is why we're here, let us be an open channel. If let us be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let us give and then
Hello again. So it's time for me to do an invocation. So if you'd like, you can close your outer eyes and just center yourself and relax as I speak a blessing on this service this morning, knowing that it is perfect, whole, and complete in the mind of God, even as it just begins. I speak a blessing on the volunteers, Mark and Heather and Eva, on the AV production team that is bringing this service to you virtually. We appreciate all the effort they put in, the time and commitment. I speak a blessing on Reverend Tom today, knowing that he is the perfect messenger to deliver this lesson, this message to us, and that it will touch us all in just the perfect way for our individual selves at this time. I speak a blessing on Michael Fawcett, our guest musician today. Thank you so very much, Michael, for being here. I speak a blessing on this congregation. And this service wouldn't be possible without all of you. So I am so grateful for your participation, for your love, your commitment. Thank you very much. And so it is. Today's reading is from Ernest Holmes. And he says, "Love is fundamental to life, the great and supreme reality. Love is the highest gift of heaven and the greatest good on earth and the treasure of all our search. It is the end and aim of everything. We cannot doubt that God is love because hate kills while love renews and restores. Love transmits some subtle essence of life to everything it touches, awakening within all things an equal awareness and response. Love is the greatest healing power there is, and no one feels whole without it. And so it is." Now it's my pleasure to introduce our musician, Michael Fawcett. Welcome, Michael. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Mike. Thank you, TCSL, for having me back. This is awesome. I missed the community. This was a song written during the early parts of the pandemic by an artist named Devin Galfinian. And it's the theme is the world stopped for a reason, so we can look at things that perhaps need to be healed. And so everything has a purpose, and kind of makes you look at it a different way. So. I've seen the good in you, but there's things we need to do. Let me take down my wall so I can hear you. Can you hear it too? Let's just talk it through. The world has stopped for a reason. Now it's you and me. There's nothing in between us. Could it be we've been sleeping, caught up in the dream. Wake up and you'll see cracks are in the ceiling. Can't you see there is a wound that's in need of our healing? Where is humility? Have we forgotten that feeling? Can you feel it too? Let's just talk it through. The world has stopped for a reason. Now it's you and me. There's nothing in between us. Could it be we've been sleeping, caught up in this dream? Wake up and we'll see. Tomorrow is today. Tomorrow is today. Tomorrow is today. The world has stopped for a reason. Caught up in between. There's nothing in between us. Could it be we've been sleeping, caught up in the dream? Wake up and we'll see. Tomorrow is today. Tomorrow is today. Tomorrow is today. Tomorrow is today.
To the ancient Greeks, there were 7 types of love, each with its own importance and value. If you're lucky enough to experience every kind, you will live a truly rich life. Number 1, Eros, burning passion. Eros was the Greek god of attraction and sexual desire. Eros is defined as divine beauty or lust. Eros is the most intense type of love, often associated with youth or our first great romance. Eros is formed mainly from lust or sexual attraction. The Greeks feared this kind of love the most because it was dangerous. Its power could destroy you. Number 2, Philia, shared goodwill, also known as brotherly love. Philia represents a sincere and platonic love, the kind of love you have for your sibling or a best friend. It was more valuable and more cherished than Eros, as Philia has the power to build empires from the ground up. Philia exists where people share a great understanding and respect, combined with similar values and disposition. Number 3, Ludus, playful love. Ludus is the flirtatious and teasing kind of love, synonymous with dancing or laughter, a childlike, fun kind of love. If you think about it, this generation loves Ludus more than anything else, with fleeting romances and explosively passionate but brief online skirmishes ruling today's dating landscape. Applications like Tinder are ingraining Ludus into modern culture. Ludus is all about having fun in the moment, with no regard for what may happen in the future. Number 4, Pragma, standing in love. The everlasting love between a married couple, which develops over a long period of time. Pragma was the highest form of love, a true commitment that requires understanding and compromise. It is pragmatic and flexible. This is why it is referred to as standing in love rather than falling in love. Anyone can fall in love, but it takes a conscious decision to stand in love with someone resolutely, for better or worse. Number 5, agape, selfless love. Agape love is selfless love, the love for humanity, the purest kind of love. The love you give without expecting anything in return, reflected in all charitable acts. It is the compassionate love that makes us sympathize with and help people we don't know. Wanting to make the world a better place, seeing something that you know is wrong and being brave enough to take action for no other reason than knowing that is what is right. The world needs more agape. Number 6, philosia, self-love. The ancient Greeks divided philosia into 2 forms. The negative is selfishly egocentric and seeks pleasure, fame, and wealth, often manifesting itself via narcissistic tendencies. Positive philosia is the healthy kind of love we give ourselves and in fact need for personal growth. Philosia is essential for any relationship. We can only love others if we truly love ourselves. We can only care for others if we truly care for ourselves. Number 7, storge, unwavering devotion. Storge is the kind of love parents feel for their children. It is a natural and almost instinctive love, a powerful and protective force not to be trifled with. Storge is a love that knows forgiveness, acceptance, and sacrifice, a feeling that you would protect someone with your life even if they wrong you. Storge does not waver. People in the early stages of a romantic relationship often expect unconditional storge, but find only the need and dependency of eros. And if they are lucky, the maturity of philia. Given enough time, eros tends to evolve into storge.
Good morning. How do you feel when you listen to a love song? Maybe one of those really mushy love songs. Or maybe you prefer to watch a movie or something like we do in our house. We watch all of the Hallmark Christmas movies and the Valentine movies and any other movies about love. Excuse me. Do you feel warm inside? Do you feel kind of like you're wrapped in a hug? We use the word love very loosely in our culture, almost flippantly. We pepper our conversations with the word like it's a seasoning. We use love as a verb. I love you. I love chocolate. Well, I really do love chocolate, so that may not be the best example. It's also used as a noun. We are in love with something or in love about something. I even used it in the title of my talk today, that love, the noun, is all you need. It's used as an adjective. Many of us remember the old TV show, The Love Boat, describing the boat. It's used as an adverb. I remember how I looked lovingly at each of my daughters when they were newborns the first time I held them. And we also know love as a feeling. Now, from the video, you know that the types of love aren't distinct. It's not, well, now I'm in Eros, so I'm going to stop that and I'll move into something else. They blend. They're neither black nor white. They're not either or. And the other thing about them is they're not sequential. In other words, you don't start with number 1 and work through and get to number 7, and then you go, okay, I accomplished that. I'll take it off of my to-do list of I've loved. In our logical, agenda-driven minds, we're not comfortable with things that are not orderly, that are not sequential. So now we want to look at exactly what is love. Well, there are many, many, many definitions, and it's hard to pin it down. So let's look at it from the perspective of science of mind. In the reading for today, Ernest Holmes said, love is the self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Now imagine that, the sweep of love is irresistible. The Reverend Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones said, love is the highest vibration in the universe. Nothing can withstand its embrace. And think about that. If it's a vibration, that means it's energy. And it's the highest vibration, not down here, way up here. It's so hard to define. I remember, many of you know, in my earlier life, I was an attorney. And I remember reading a case, U.S. Supreme Court case many years ago. And it was about trying to define what was obscenity. And the late Justice Potter Stewart said, I can't define obscenity, but I know it when I see it. And that always stuck with me. And I think that is similar to the way we are about love. I can't define love, but I know it when I see it. Better yet, I know it when I feel it. So let's kind of think back over the video a moment. And I want to ask you, how many types of love were you aware of, did you think about before you watched that video? I can tell you, for me, I knew primarily of 3. Eros, I was a young guy, and I enjoyed that. Philia, and agape. Those were the 3 that I knew. But you know, the funny thing is I would look around me in the world, and I would see other things that I just knew they had to be love, but they didn't fit in those categories. So I was glad to see this video and realize that there were 4 other types of love that I didn't know about, but I had seen, I had witnessed them, or I had felt them myself. So I want you to take just a moment. We're going to pause for a second. I want you to think about this. How many types of love have you known, have you experienced in your life? And did you recognize them as love before you saw them on that video? Now, we know that love is very important. It's important to each one of us. Dr. Holmes said love is fundamental to life. It's the end and the aim of everything. And we're taught and we teach that God is love. We know that God is both mind and matter, and the matter is that infinite array of love energy vibrating as unconditional love. That's who God is. That's the substance from which all creation is made. And if we are created out of love, that means we also, at the core of our essence, are unconditional love. And that means our desire for each one of us is to want love, to give it, and want love to receive it. We want to give and receive love. Excuse me. Dr. Holmes went further and he said, love is the greatest healing power there is, and no one feels whole without it. Think about that a moment, that you can't be whole, you can't feel whole without love in your life. It's absolutely necessary for our health and wellness. It's absolutely necessary for us to be whole. Love restores us. It renews us. Jake Owensby, in his book, The Gospel Memories, The Future Can Rewrite the Past, said, love is the only power that transforms a wounded person into a healed person. There is no such thing as a completely unscathed person. We are either wounded and diminished, or we are healed. Now, these are not two extremes. You can be healed over here, but you are some level of wounded and diminished all the way up to that point of healing. It's who we are. We're not perfect individuals in the practice of love. We're perfect spiritually, not perfect in our practice of love. And so we continue to grow and work towards that healing that makes us feel whole. Now, we teach also about the law of circulation. What we send out is going to come back. What goes around comes around. We hear that all the time. We know that we reap what we sow. So if the law of circulation works, we should be able to send out love. Love's going to come back, right? Let me add one caveat, one condition. What we sow, what we send out, must be sincere when we're talking about love. Because if you're not sincere, if you're just mouthing the words, they're going to just come back to you that same way. Marianne Williamson, in A Return to Love, said that we are either extending love or we're projecting fear in all of our interpersonal relationships. She said, as we stand here today, we are sending love or sending cries for love. We're begging to have it come back. Make the love that you send sincere, and sincere love can come back. But we also know about the law of attraction, that likes attract like. And we teach that. We teach the law of attraction. We teach that if you are praying, you're treating for something, you should have a mental equivalent of what you want. It should be clear in your mind. In fact, it's part of our core teaching. And maybe the most fundamental principle of our teaching is that as we change our thinking, we change our lives. Well, I've got good news for you. If you send out love, love's going to come back. But here's the caveat. Here's that condition. You have to be willing to accept. You have to be willing to receive the love. Because if you don't, you're going to send out love. If you don't feel you deserve it, when it starts to come back, you're not going to recognize it. You won't see it as love, and it won't feel as love to you. You'll still feel that you don't deserve it. So you must feel that you deserve it to receive it back, because we know that the law of attraction always works. That which we are looking for immediately reveals itself to us. So it's in our thinking that we want to look for the love to come back to us that's sincere, that we deserve the very best. I want to take a little closer look at 3 types of love that we talked about in the video, talked about. Philia, agape, and philosia. Philosia was one of the ones that I didn't know about, and when I tried to look up the pronunciation, I think I found 4 or 5 different pronunciations. So I'm going to settle on philosia, which is a little bit different than what you heard in the video. We know though, that we're operating virtually right now. We all miss being together. We miss having that physical contact with one another. We miss being able to go up and smile at each other, shake hands, put our arms around each other, hug one another. And I've heard people say, well, when we meet virtually, it's just not there. At personal contact, what we're experiencing is we're experiencing philia. Can we change the way we think? Can we change our perspective? And still, while we're meeting online, experience philia love? Is there not still harmony and power in our relationships as fellow members of this beautiful community? Sure, there is. We're going to get an opportunity after the close of this service to go on to Zoom where we can see each other's face and we can talk to each other and we can see each other smile and we can hear each other's voice and their expressions. Yes, the harmony is still there in our relationships. Don't you see, or can you still see the same shared values or similar values? Can you feel the shared understanding, the shared respect, that shared goodwill that is embodied in filial love? It's here in this community. Yes, we prefer to do it in person, but if we can't do it in person, we can accept the next best thing. We can look at each other, we can talk. It's like FaceTiming with those we love. Now, agape love, as the video said, is a little bit different. It's selfless love. It's the purest kind of love. It's often translated as spiritual and unconditional love, and we translate it that way ourselves. We teach it that way. And what do we know about unconditional love? We know that it's so palpable and so complete that we never question its presence. And when we say palpable, it means you can almost touch it. That's what palpable means. And it's so complete, we don't doubt its presence. It's right here, it's right now, it's with us all the time. The late mystic Ram Dass said, unconditional love really exists in each of us. It's part of our deep inner being. And it's not so much an active emotion as a state of being. It's not, I love you for this or that reason. It's not, I love you if you love me. It's love for no reason. Love without an object. Sometimes it seems hard to find a reason to love people. Yet, that's what unconditional love is. We don't have to have a reason. There doesn't have to be an object. We can continue to love. Unconditional love is that powerful acceptance of another's beingness and the unique way they show up in the world. Notice those words, powerful acceptance of another's beingness and the unique way they show up in the world. That doesn't mean we have to like it. It doesn't mean we have to accept everything someone says or does. But it does mean we don't require them to be different. The things they say and do may trigger our emotions, they may trigger our reactions, they may be trigger points or patterns of behavior that we don't care to visit. But we choose to react in a compassionate manner. Now, oftentimes, one of the places it gets very confused about unconditional love is in our marriages or our close, intimate relationships. When we think that unconditional love should exist. Take me as I am, for better or for worse, till death do we part. And sometimes it's most difficult to do that. What we really are looking for, as the video said, in a marriage relationship or that intimate, long-term relationship is pragma love. That standing in love, that love that develops over time, that highest form of love. But it's not necessarily unconditional love. They're not the same animal. It's not agape. Let me give you the best example I know of for unconditional love. I'm a pet lover, but I'm primarily a dog lover. Dogs tend to love unconditionally. They always greet you with an open heart and a readiness to be fully present. Even if I'm just going to the store for a while, when I come back and walk in the house, my dog is there and she's jumping up and down, her tail's wagging so hard it's wagging her whole body. That's unconditional love. It's being a joyful, loving presence in my life. I would encourage you, here's what I think of unconditional love in a relationship. I would encourage you to consider this and see if it resonates with you. But I believe that a relationship of unconditional love should result in both parties being able to say sincerely to each other I feel seen. I feel heard. I feel seen. I feel heard. Now, that's a beautiful feeling inside to know that you are seen and heard for just who you are. And that's why I feel that that is unconditional love. And then we'll look at the third one. We'll look at Philotia. And Philotia is self-love, taking care of ourselves. We call it radical self-care. Now, it must be important because it was the second of the two great commandments that Jesus said. He said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. We can't very well love others as ourselves if we don't love ourselves first. You have to love yourself first. Otherwise, the love you send out can't be sincere. So we need to not only learn and practice how we love ourselves. Now, we teach in our centers that the concept of loving applies equally inward as it does outward. It's not an either or. It's a both and. We have to love ourselves inwardly, love others outwardly. So let me ask you, how are we doing with loving ourselves? How are you doing loving yourself? I'm willing to bet that most of you would agree that we are our own worst critics. And I think our self-talk bears that out. How many times have you called yourself stupid? Have you judged yourself as being clumsy or a klutz? Or maybe looked in the mirror and called yourself fat or some other derisive term or characterization? I know I've done it more times than I can possibly count. But let me ask you this. If I went to your family members, if I went to your friends, your closest friends, and asked them how you were doing at loving yourself, what might they say? You remember it was Ralph Waldo Emerson who said, who we are speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. So your actions at loving yourself are speaking so loudly that even if you say you are, but you're not acting like you are, others see it. And the other thing to keep in mind is that the law of attraction suggests that how we see ourselves is reflected in how we see others. So do we see ourselves in love or with love? Because that'll be reflected in how we see others. Or do we see ourselves with judging, criticizing, and taunting, and name calling? Because that will be how we see others as well. So why do we find it difficult to love ourselves? Well, I think it's because we doubt love. You see, we look at ourselves and we go, will anyone love me? Will anyone really, really love me? I remember one person in the class one time said, you know, I've kissed a lot of frogs over the years. And I keep asking myself, can anyone love me just as I am? Do we doubt love because we feel unworthy of it? You know, we know our faults. We know our flaws. We go, oh, why would anyone love someone with that many faults or with that many flaws or with these particular ones that I have? And if we feel unworthy, no amount of love, no amount of love that we give out can return to us. It's not because we're unloved, because the love is going out and coming back. It's because we can't accept the love, because of our belief that we're not worthy of it. We're refusing to allow love in. It's like we cross our arms, we go, no, you can't come in, you can't come to me, because I'm not worthy of having you. Open your arms, you are worthy of being loved. The change begins with loving ourselves, and we can change both our inner and our outer dialogue about ourselves and with ourselves. one of the things I like to encourage people that I'm working with is I want you to go into your bathroom, usually your primary or your master bathroom, and look in the mirror. Now, that's important because building codes require that the bathroom mirror, the main mirror in the bathroom, magnifies. So you look like you're closer. I want you to point to yourself, and I want you to say emphatically 10 times, I love you. And I mean it, I love you. And really, really mean it, really feel it, because the poet Rumi said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So I want you to remember that life is a journey, and loving is a journey. We're evolving over time. Our teaching symbol shows that on the one side of the V, that we are continually evolving in spiritual awareness. And we are always remodeling ourselves. We're always doing better. So don't expect absolute perfection in our practice of love today. Just know that you're getting better each and every day. And so as we close, I want to leave you with the words of Thomas Merton, where he says our job is to love others without stopping to inquire whether or not they are worthy. That is not our business, and in fact, it's nobody's business. What we are asked to do is to love, and this love itself will render both ourselves and our neighbors worthy. So I leave with you this question. Now that you're aware, how will you choose to see love differently in your life? How will you choose to practice it differently in your life? And so it is. And now I invite you to close your outer eyes as we turn within. And I recognize that there is only one love. That is the love of the divine for us, the creative love that created all the universe, all creation. It created me, it created each one of you. And I know that I am not only one with this great creative love, this great creative power, I am one with each of you as well, and with all the universe. And I know that as we walk this path of spiritual evolution, and as we practice our love each day, that we are guided, instructed, advised, and directed by this great power of love. That it speaks to us in its still small voice, showing us and telling us the next right thing to think, say, and do in every moment. And that right thing is always, always rooted deeply in love. And when we think, speak, and act from our heart space, we are communicating, we are demonstrating the love that we are. And I'm grateful for this truth. I'm grateful for knowing that we're growing every day in our spiritual awareness and in our awareness of the love that we are. I'm grateful for our oneness with each other. And so I release this word into the law. I know that it's already fulfilled in the mind of God. I know that the universe always answers yes. And I know that the only thing we're to do is to be who we were created to be. That very demonstration of love. Spirit of love expressing in physical form as you and as me. And I ask you to join with me in the universe in affirming this truth by saying together, and so it is.
And so it is. So it is. Thank you so very much, Tom. It was beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Yes, love heals all things. So it is now time for our conscious giving. And I would just like to remind everyone that this is the time that we take to really be able to give back to the community, to give back to our center. It allows us to be sustained. It allows us to continue to do what we do in the world, to continue to be a beacon of light and love for ourselves and others. And so I'm so grateful for the generosity of this community, for the giving of not only time and talent, but also treasure. So I just invite everyone to just take a moment to think about how blessed we truly are, how abundant we truly are. Together we affirm that the truth that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and contributes to the experience of sufficiency on the world. On the screen, there are 3 ways that you can give. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. Text the word give to 970-230-8445, or mail us to our new mailing address, P.O. Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. Please place your hand on your heart with your gift or with an intention, and let's say our giving affirmation. We'll do it as a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. Thank you all so very much for your generosity. Now, please invite back the amazing Michael Fawcett.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Dusty. So the talk title was All You Need Is Love. So that was an easy song choice today. So. Nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. There's nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. There's nothing you can make that can't be made. There's no one you can save that can't be saved. There's nothing you can do, you can learn to be you in time. It's easy. So all you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you were meant to be. It's easy. So all you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all you need.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. We enjoyed having you back and enjoyed seeing you again. I have a few announcements, so if anyone would like prayer, please go to our website at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living.org. And on the homepage, there's a button up in the right-hand corner, and you can click on that button and fill out the form, and we will deliver all your prayers to the minister and practitioners. Also, please join us for our Let's Stay Connected immediately following the service. This will be on Zoom. The link is in Wednesday's newsletter. So right after service, just get on Zoom and you'll get to see and talk. Now, in the comfort of your home, please stand for our February affirmation. This is a call and response, so please repeat after me. I see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with the divine. A world in which we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. Because I am not bound by precedent. I am open to the promise of a clean slate which every moment holds. With trust, joy, and delight, I let God be God in me. Love acts through me, and the law of love frees us all. And so it is. Thank you very much. Now, please hang around. There will be a closing song after the benediction. So please close your outer eyes if you're comfortable. And join me by turning within one more time. And first of all, I'd like you just to take a deep breath and allow that air to escape through your nostrils and or your mouth. And just feel your body relax. And the key word here is feel, because I want you to make that journey now from your head to your heart. And in the heart, we're going to feel. So first, I want you just to put your hand, if you're comfortable, on your heart. And feel the physical heart beating, providing blood and nurturing your entire body. And just feel that. And now take another deep breath in. And feel the energy. Feel the love. Again, I remind you, it's feel the love. Don't think. Let your body feel. Let your being feel. Connect to the one source, the one life, the one presence at the very center of your being. Knowing that we are always connected, but a lot of time in our lives we become confused, doubtful, fearful, and the connection's volume turns down. So turn it up right now. And feel the love. As Tom's title to his talk was, Love is All There Is. And from this feeling place, I know that God is all there is. 5 beautiful words. And we are all one with God. There is no separation. When there is separation, there is fear. So if there's any sense of that in you, please just allow the fear to fall away for a moment. And let there only be the light, the love, the joy, the harmony, the peace, the presence filling you up. It is the truth of who you are. You have always been this. You will always be this. Let any doubt fall away. There can be nothing else. And I am so grateful for this community, for this opportunity to speak these words, to feel these words. As Tom so beautifully pointed out, the operative word is the feeling. When you send love out, it's the feeling that you send with it. And it's the feeling that comes back. So as I conclude this prayer, I am so grateful for all of you for listening today, for participating, for being involved, for being connected, for being in love, because I can feel your love. It's palpable. And I'm not even in your presence, but we're all connected. That golden thread that Reverend Dusty talks to many times, it's in the feeling, the knowing. So I release these words into the law, knowing they are perfect, whole, and complete in the mind of God. And I ask you to join me by saying, and so it is.
And so it is. And so it is. Thank you, everyone for listening in. Thank you, everyone who participated. There's even the AV back there hanging out. Thank you all so very much. Have an absolutely amazing week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Reverend Tom, thank you for being here. Love you all. Take care.
Love you too.
Bye now.
Bye.
Yeah.